And welcome back, everyone, to more Black Twitch League action. RareAdam alongside I'm Haji here as we get into Game 2. Barber's Fan Club surviving a mid-game scare in Game 1 there. So your prediction, it was almost correct until it wasn't.
Yeah, I think if Ishtar kind of plays well, I mean, first of all in the early game, but also if they play those mid and late game fights a little bit better too, I really think that game goes their way if they're able to keep Frostbite, healthy. They're able to repel those dives onto them. But Bio's able to make those miracle insects happen, and so Barber walks away with the win.
Yep, every time it's always some sort of miracle that ends up coming out from one of these members from Barbara's Fan Club. They've consistently been able to find some really crazy performances out of nowhere, but this time around, with the Zeri picked up by Team Ishtar, looks like Barbara's Fan Club going to be going to very depresso espresso 80 carry who does not speak. Aphelios down on the bottom side, otherwise known as Mr. Sir 200 years. Going to be paired with that Thresh, so hopefully with that Thresh. Aphelios Thresh, that's a combo as old as time.
Yeah, definitely. It's a classic combo because with the Thresh and Aphelios, you're able to kind of be a bit of a kill lane at certain weapons. Specifically, if you're able to play around like RareAdam, or if you're able to play get those hooks in during red white or white green. You're able to get some good fights in, and you're also able to keep Aphelios safe for most of the game if you're able to play around those lanterns really well.
You're able to.
Oh,
But we get the Tarek coming through, coming from Chicken the Wing, so opting to switch it up, throw a little bit of a wrench into our expectations as Tarek ends up coming through as the answer to Aphelios Thresh.
yeah, Tarek is. I definitely like Tarek. I'm not sure how much I like him necessarily in the Thresh. The lane might be a little painful, but as a champion, kind of busted. That ultimate is kind of disgusting, no matter how you slice it. Being able to make your team immune to all damage for a serious period of time is kind of insane. So you automatically have some really good team fighting, especially here with the Zeri and the Tarek. And we might be able to see some really cool Tarek stunts come through with the speed of this Zeri as well.
Yeah, and the Jarvan going to be that jungle pickup there, so going a little bit more towards the norm in a lot of ways. Jarvan has been one of those champions that it's always going to be good. It's sort of like Lee Sin in a lot of ways, where you could take away all of the damage from Jarvan and they're still going to get picked up in some capacity, albeit less than Lee Sin in a lot of ways.
Yeah, absolutely. And we see Bio here picking up the Viego as well.
Yes, Viego is the option. And what do you think about this jungle matchup specifically, Jarvan versus Viego?
I mean, I think if in a vacuum, Viego does beat a Jarvan on a 1v1 overall. However, the game's not in a vacuum, of course, and I think Jarvan should ideally just not take 1v1s with the Viego, really. Ideally, you probably just kind of path away and keep yourself ganking whatever opposite side of the map Viego is. So, realistically, I would like to see this Jarvan kind of start top side, move into the spot side, look for a solid gank combined with the Tarek on this Thresh Aphelios, possibly blow some sums at level 3, move back up into river, pick up a scuttle, and then see if they could get a second gank down bot. If they're not able to pick up some kills in this bot lane, really, I is how I'm seeing the game right now. But of course, we're only seeing these lanes or this bot lane and jungle currently, so things might be a little bit different once we see the rest of the map.
Yeah, sort of predicated on what the rest of the map opts to pick up. Looks like the Akali is going to be the option picked up once again for either Watoted or Anai in that mid lane. Both of them can play that champion. Both of them are willing to pull that out. So we really needed to see what these solo lanes opt to go for. But looks like this time Face of the Wind going to play another defensive mid laner here in the Lissandra. So going to opt to stay as safe as possible with that pick.
Yeah, and I really like it. I actually really like the Lissandra here, just as an answer to a lot of Barber's Fan Club between the Viego and the Cali. Specifically, if you're able to just ult that Viego and possibly get a quick kill on him, a lot of Barber's fan club kind of withers away, as we say. The Aatrox pickup here, really interesting. I really think I'll say this: I think the Tarek's kind of saving the comp as a whole for me. Is the thing. As Barber's fan club is hovering the Z here, would be really interesting to see into little Lissandra, but the Silas does make more sense overall.
Yeah, so as per our color caster here, gonna say that nothing in this comp is good except for Tarek. And why is that? Just I'm curious as to the mentality behind what you're thinking here in terms of why the comp sucks. Per se.
I don't think it's bad outside of Tarek. I think that the Tarek is able to fix a lot of things around the comp. Really specifically able to really, so for example with Lissandra being able to pop that ultimate on someone like Viego or Akali while they're trying to dive in buys a lot of time for the Tarek to be able to get an ult off. And once that ultimate is through with Tarek, that Lissandra ultimate gains so much. Because of the ultimate from Tarek, Lissandra's ultimate gets a lot more power because you're able to isolate these, these divers, keep them from diving onto you. It gives them a lot more strength because it gives it more meaning. Like as the team fight is going on, it goes from I'm gonna try to hold this diver off from killing us all for 2 seconds or so, to I'm buying us time until we can fight this back with the Tarek ultimate, and I think that combined with once that ultimate is down and you're able to have a literally immune Aatrox kind of just running forward, and then even once that's done and they're sitting there full health with still able to regen with that ultimate, a Zeri able to play around to their fullest extent, with an immunity on top of them. I think that there's a lot of good things into this. Specifically into Barber's fan club, who have this Viego, this Akali, this Silas, this hyper aggressive topside who are just going to try to face dive you. I think that the Tarek kind of completes a lot of things.
And of note, though, there is a Silas in this game, and some pretty good ultimates on the side of Team Ishtar. So Barber's fan club, they sort of get the best of both worlds in this sense with this Silas pickup into the mid lane. What do you make of the mid lane matchup that we're going to see here in this Silas versus Lissandra?
I definitely think I definitely think that it is Lissandra favored, at least early. If the Silas doesn't go down too bad, if they're not hurting too much past 6, I definitely think it's recoverable if you're able to get clean dives off, specifically taking that ultimate from Lissandra and using it against her. Otherwise, it is a very painful affair because Lissandra Qs, they stack up. They definitely don't feel like they do as much. They don't look like they do as much damage as they end up doing as the game goes on, and it can get kind of painful. In this early game,
right? The early game,
yeah.
Lissandra Q doesn't do a whole lot of damage unless you're getting hit by 7 of them. In which case, it does a lot of damage over time.
Yeah, and that's the thing with Lissandra into these melee matchups is it is gonna hurt. Being able to get a free E off, followed up with a Q, especially if you end up going electrocute, this will start to hurt really badly for a Knight if they're not able to keep themselves in a good position.
That's understandable in a lot of ways, but overall, you look at this comp and you look at what is expected in this early game and where's sort of the focus going to be for, let's say, Team Ishtar in this early game as they try and navigate through what could be a very scary dive comp once again.
Yeah, absolutely. I really think it's going to come down to this Tarek at the end of the day. I think it's going to be up to this bot lane, specifically Tarek, with those ultimate timings, but also Frostbite's going to have to play a really pivotal role in this game as well. So I want to see Roberto down the spot side again. I want to see Roberto kind of putting some attention and giving them the attention that they deserve. Because I think Frostbite played reasonably well with the lead that they got last time. I think they'd be able to play even better with a lead this game.
Okay, man. Who's taking game 2 here? What's your prediction?
I'll stick with underdogs. I think this bot side can win this game.
So we'll find out if Haji will be able to redeem themselves in the predictions, or if they will go down 0-2. We will find out. But for now, we are going to head to a break as we wait for the spectator delay. When we're back, game 2 between Team Ishtar and Barbara's Fan Club. And welcome back to more Black Twitch League action. RareAdam alongside Amhaji once again here for Game 2 between Team Ishtar and Barbara's Fanclub. Barbara's Fanclub, of course, coming into this one with a little bit of a lead for themselves. Exactly one game, in fact, which is halfway to a victory of 2-0. That is how this league works. Haji.
That is how a lot of leagues work, yeah.
Yeah, nothing crazy happening here. It's once again a very standard level 1.
Yeah, pretty default. We got to spread out lineups on both sides. Not too crazy, not too crazy. I like to see the electrocute on face to the wind. It tells me that they are going to be trying to get aggressive in this early lane. Put down the punishment on an eye, make them hurt, as we once again see a double ignite on the side of Barbara's Fanclub.
Yes, and of course the Tarek speaking through the beach loudspeaker, talking about how much they adore themselves. That was a lot louder than I expected it to be as well. But regardless, here we are. Nothing crazy. Bio going to start on that red buff, actually. Both of these junglers starting on the top side of the map. Interesting pathing, I think, especially for the Jarvan here.
Well, I think it is one of those situations where the Jarvan might have been trying to dodge the Viego, but I'm not sure where Bio's ideas were necessarily. Maybe they scoped this out, or they themselves didn't feel comfortable trying to possibly phase up into an early game Jarvan.
Yeah, and in a lot of ways, the fact that Bio started on that top side, you know, you're starting under red buff, not the worst case situation, but Vaperto will win that early skirmish in a lot of ways because Jarvan has a lot of that early game damage. Especially when you look at the lanes that you've got some priority coming through from Face to the Wind. You've got some priority a little bit coming through from Tygoon as well. So interesting to see them start on that top side where they generally have the stronger lanes.
Yeah, and we might be able to see a double scuttle for the side of Team Ishtar if they're able to play their cards right with this. If, you know, Tygoon and or Face to the Wind are able to push out their lanes and kind of move up to this top scuttle. Assuming, of course, if Vaperto is able to pick up this scuttle on the bot side.
We'll have to keep our eyes on that, but for the time being, pretty standard affairs thus far. Anai already down to half HP. That's, I think, what we expect out of Sylas lanes into something like a Lissandra, levels 1 through 3. They're not really going to be able to find any sort of advantageous trades, and definitely not able to get that heal with the Kingslayer, unless they go for a full commit like this, in which case it may work out some of the time. They will still take some damage on the way out.
Yeah, definitely. They're able to pick up that E2, which was able to really make that trade worth for them. Kind of surprising a bit. But overall, this lane still is a bit punishing for Anai, and it's going to be up to them to try to make things work as much as they can until they're able to pick up, or they're able to put some levels into this queue at the end of the day, or realistically get to the level where they can try to dive this Lissandra.
Yeah, and if you look at how this game has been playing out thus far, Bot Scuttle did go over to Bio. So Bio was able to clear through their 5 camps a little bit quicker than this Jarvan, but Vaperto did opt for the full clear, so is level 4. Sort of sitting in the wings, waiting for the setup. Here comes the Dazzle coming down from the Tarek. The Flay has already been used. Vaperto with the EQ flash there, showing a little bit of style. His first blood going to go over to Vaperto on this bottom side of the map. Pixel Wolf now trying to run for the hills, and Frostbite gonna move forward with their own flash, get the rapid fire down to finish that one off. So 2 kills going over to the side of Team Ishtar as you said, Vaperto showing some love to the bottom side of the map, and it pays off in spades.
Yeah, and I wasn't even I didn't even think that Team Barbara's Fanclub were gonna be. I didn't think they would die to the first gank. I thought that with summoners, they ideally would be able to live through the first gank, but really well played from the side of Team Ishtar's bot side and jungle, able to pick that up. And unfortunately, Pixel was not able to get that flash off before Frostbite flashes in themselves for it. And overall, really good from Team Ishtar being able to put their bot lane up like this.
An advantage going over to the Aphelios is always a good sign. Mr. Sir 200 years will always be happy about that. Tygoon, on the other hand, on this top side, not going to be happy about Witoda picking up another kill for themselves.
Yeah, and Tygoon actually flashing too, trying to live, but the Ignite went down already. And they will go down like you said, like we all saw. It was really unfortunate watching that trade actually because saw Tycoon kind of just whiffing that Q3 as well as that W, which was just it's never gonna be a good time for you after that.
Yeah, that's sort of the skill component of an Aatrox in any sort of situation. You have to be able to land your Q sweet spots, otherwise you're going to lose almost every trade. It sort of comes with the lay of the land of that champion, but what comes with the lay of the land of this bot side is a little bit of a skirmish. It's going to be Vaperto going in there. Bio not going to be able to get it, and it's a steal for the Jarvan. Jarvan able to stay alive. It's another kill going over to the side of the Zeri here. Frostbite now 2-0-2 as Jarvan able to move forward to pick up another one. And Nye trying to predict, but Frostbite gonna have to drop down that the barrier at least. The Pixel Wolf though kiting out Vaperto. Vaperto will get shut down as it does end up being a 2 for 2 I believe overall. But the Dragon does go in favor of Team Ishtar as their early game has come out with all guns a-blazing this time around.
Yeah, a lot better of an early game, but Roberto going in there, trying to pick up Pixel Wolf, who still had Flash at the time, and they push forward like that as they have to know Anai is there, or at least nearby. So really unnecessary, just a bit greedy, and able to end up losing an extra kill. But you know, you still get that mountain, and you're able to pick up some extra kills, and you know, you have a Zeri who's 2-0-2. I'm sitting at a Heartbound Axe and a Sheen at 7 minutes, so definitely not bad.
She's feeling happy about herself right now. Hearthbound Axe and Sheen compared to just the Newton Quiver in terms of offensive capabilities coming through from Pixel Wolf. It's an interesting turn from what we have been used to. Pixel Wolf coming into today, second highest KDA in the league with 10.84, I believe, for her KDA. This time around, having a little bit more trouble staying alive here, especially against Frostbite, who's done a great job in both of these games thus far of being very relevant in the early game and playing these sort of scaling champions that will translate into later stage. So thus far, Frostbite, once again, living up to these expectations that were set in game one.
Yeah, Frostbite and Chicken the Wing have both played really admirably these last 2 games. So really good job from them. And we see actually a little bit of a lead on the top side here, even with this wave. If Watoda is able to pick up all of it, still going to be a solid lead actually. And Tygoon's threatening to try to kill in her tower.
Yeah, always looking to push forward, push a little bit more. Just a little bit more in that sense, but Tycoon now going to be trying to stay alive here. Big damage comes down onto Bio and onto Watoda. They end up trading the opposite way as Tycoon picks up the jungler and Vaperto picks up the top laner there. Ends up working out quite well for Team Ishtar, who they've come out of the woodwork and they're looking poised to push this early game advantage. They're up 2,500 gold, and Frostbite on this bot side, really big. Vaperto in the jungle, really big, and Barber's Fanclub, they're stumped thus far.
Yeah, Barber's Fanclub is not able to get things going too much in this early game. The only lane that has a lead is going to be Anai here in the mid lane against this Lissandra. And it's going to be up to them to see if they can possibly transfer some of that lead elsewhere.
Yeah, they've got to sort of play around this mid game of the Silas, which can be very potent, stealing away some of these ultimates and making plays with those ultimates as well to push forward these advantages on the opposite side, because Aphelios Thresh, a very strong lane if they're ahead. Akali, a very strong champion if she's ahead. Viego even, very strong champion if they're ahead as well. And thus far, it has been Team Ishtar really playing towards their win cons and performing extremely admirably in this early game here, as we said, up 2,500 gold.
Yeah, and I'll give the champion, at least Viego, the respect they deserve. Viego is one of those champions much akin to so many other champions who are able to, like, if they're in the game, you know, they're a wild card. It's the same thing I see as Jerry almost, to where there's always a chance. I feel like that oh, dude, you know, same thing with Jinx even actually too.
That was an interesting interaction. Anai tries to use the Lissandra ultimate, and Lissandra used her ultimate on herself at the exact same time, so nothing happened. But yes, it is an interesting situation. Yes, Viego's a champion. You just take a champion, and if it's Viperto or someone who is fed in this game, all of a sudden, then Bio's fed.
Yeah, absolutely. And on top of that, those resets as oh wow.
That's a solo kill from Anai in the mid lane. The Ignite able to take that one down, and well played from Anai to pick that one up. But Viperto now face checking into Bio here. Some decent damage coming through from both of these sides. Bio actually gonna flash away. Frostbite moving up as well, so they wanted to stay as safe as possible as on this top side.
There's an ultimate here for Viperto.
Yeah, Tygoon, though, on this top side, gonna try and chase down with Toad in the Q3. Not gonna get that sweet spot to knock them up. Here comes Bio, though, gonna try and escape here. Will not be able to escape the flash, though, from Frostbite, who's able to pick up their third kill of the game. And despite Bio tempting fate there, going for a little bit of a cheeky trade onto Viperto, they end up paying the price.
Yeah, I like to see this. They're going for the dragon. They're going away from this herald that would have been really easy for them to take, and will actually go for this dragon instead. They already have a solid game lead, or gold lead. Just taking these dragons, buying themselves insurance that, you know, if things go sideways, you know, if they somehow lose a random skirmish or a team fight, they're able to still rely on the fact that, hey, we've got 2 dragons. You know, there's another 5 minutes added to that clock for the side of or that 20-minute clock, I guess, is essentially reset every time they're able to pick up one of these dragons and stop the enemy side of Team Barber's fan club from picking one up themselves, because that stack is just not there.
Yeah, unable to really translate that early dragon lead that they had in game 1 here into game 2 for the side of Barber's fan club, and a lot of that just comes down to the Zeri being a lot stronger for the time being. But looks like there is a pause right now. We will find out what's going on with that, but yes, for the time being, a little bit of a pause coming through onto Summoner's Rift.
Yeah, it is a small pause currently. Hopefully nothing too big, you know. We last time we cast with each other, we saw some game breaking things. Wouldn't necessarily want to see those again with that Vel'Koz ultimate.
Okay, story time. We were casting for another league, Radiant Strike, and every single time Vel'Koz ulted, the game would crash. We did not see a single fight the entire game, because every single time there was a Vel'Koz ultimate, it crashed. So we wouldn't be able to see what happened. And it wasn't like the beginning of the Vel'Koz ult, it would be the end of the Vel'Koz ult where it would sort of break down. But looks like we should be getting back into this shortly, hopefully.
Yeah, it was at the very end, so it kind of give you a little bit of false hope, you know, make you feel like, hey, maybe this time it won't crash.
And then it
would shut down the game. Yeah.
and every time we would try and be like not surprised that it's happening, but it was just the kicker every single time. But looks like we are back into game here. We're going to get the pause after the pause as usual in a couple of seconds here most likely. But Rift Herald is started up by Team Ishtar. They've got that gold lead for themselves. They're up about 2,500 gold. Look at this positioning though as we get the little freeze frame. Face to the wind, staying hidden for now. You can see Tygoon and Viperto starting that one up in front of Watoted here. This is a 3v3 that could erupt on this top side of the map, and the supports are moving up as well, so curious to see how this all plays out, because this could be quite the explosive fight arising here. Bio gonna go aggressive onto Face of the Wind, and Face of the Wind is removed off of the map. Now, Bio, as the Lissandra, gonna find the route onto Viperto. Here it comes. The Cosmic Radiance trying to keep some people alive, and Nye in that World Ender not going to really be able to do too much, but a big Kingslayer heal as Bio uses the Heartbreaker, and Barber's Fan Club are turning this one around. Tygoon now pulled up here trying to deal the damage, but there is 4 members fighting down this Aatrox. It's a double kill picked up by Watoted, and once again, Barber's Fan Club find a way back into this game. They find 3 kills, and they should pick up this Herald as well.
Yeah, really tragic fight to try to take here after Face of the Wind had already gone down. Losing the Lissandra ultimate was really big. And then they pop the Tarek ultimate here in the mid, or up here at this blue buff entrance. But Barber's Fan Club play it right. They kind of just walk away. And unfortunately for the side of Team Ishtar, they weren't able to force the issue much further while the Terracotta ultimate was still active, and they do end up going down because of it.
Yes, it does end up costing them the Rift Herald 3 members and a lot of their gold lead here. Now only 1,000 gold separating these two teams. And once again, Watoda doing a great job on the Sakali. Despite being down 40 CS, they've been able to put the hurt down onto Tygoon. And as I say that, they take a big chunk of damage, making me eat my words.
Yeah, the interesting thing about that Aatrox, the pivotal Aatrox buff that ended up bringing them, back into a little bit of prominence here, was the sweet spot damage increase. So, definitely going to be a little painful.
And as the turret plating falls here, 1,500 gold lead with those plates picked up in the mid lane there.
The Nye might pick him up bot.
Yeah, Anai looking for a kill onto Face of the Wind.
Oh,
That's
no.
the Lissandra's ultimate used a little bit too early here. Anai trying to turn that one around. Will be able to do so. And once again, this Silas, Anai has just had a great series thus far. 3-0-3 this game, had an amazing performance on the Riven last game as well. This is looking like the main man that the side of Barber's Fan Club are going to be looking for to carry this game. Meanwhile, on the top side, Tygoon able to take down that first tower of the game, so increasing that gold lead still for the side of Team Ishtar, up 2,000 gold once again.
Yeah, and I feel for Face of the Wind this game. Really, they weren't doing bad. They had a solid lead in the lane.
Oh, Chick in the Wing taking a decent chunk of damage. Doesn't have that Cosmic Radiance, but Frostbite gonna pot that Lightning Storm. Moving forward aggressively onto Pixel Wolf, looking for the damage. Hook gonna come through. They're gonna try and root her up, but Vaperto going into that backline, able to pick up Rainbow Tails. Now Anai coming in from the side, looking to try and find the angle onto Frostbite. Frostbite is still in that ult. Zeri still firing on all cylinders, looking for more. Gonna find her go on a rampage here. Now Bio trying to be the one to survive. Chick in the Wing now gonna pop that Cosmic Radiance. Okay, they popped.
Want to guess how many Zeri stacks?
A lot.
37 at the end of the fight there.
That's a lot of stacks. Oh boy, Watoda though. Going in onto Frostbite, and it does not matter how many Zeri stacks you had. If you have 0 when a Kali kills you, you die.
Yeah, Frostbite, for how well they've been playing all game, and really all series, getting a little too forward there as Watoda's able to pick up a free kill.
Yes, and still for the side of Team Ishtar, it's 3 more kills going into their coffers here. They've been looking so good here thus far this series. I mean, look at Vaperto's KP thus far. 100% kill participation. An amazing bounce back game after a really rough start to the series.
Yeah, definitely. Really good job so far this game. And on top of that 100% able to pick up both dragons as well. And we'll have to see about this third dragon, though, as there are multiple ultimates that are down for the side of Team Ishtar that are going to be pretty pivotal to the fact that they're down. Specifically, you got the Cataclysm down, Zeri's ultimate Lightning Crash down, Cosmic Radiance is down. Really, you've only got the World Ender that's coming up and Team Frozen Tome currently.
Yeah, there's the Lightning Crash as well coming through for the Zeri. As Tygoon actually going to go around to the opposite side. Of note, Anai has that hijack up and available, so maybe looking to steal it off of Chick in the Wing, potentially. That would be your best guess. But as of right now, they're getting zoned off here. Vaperto moving so far forward. They're bluffing this dragon a little bit. No vision has been put down. Got to use that flag and drag onto it, and that's going to be the third dragon picked up. But now in that front line, Tygoon looking for a lot of damage. Face of the Wind in the backline, doing so much damage with that Lissandra ultimate. It's a double kill already picked up by Face of the Wind, and it's an absolute wipe for the side of Team Ishtar. They find 5-0. Absolutely no chance for the side of Barber's Fan Club to do anything there. And my goodness, Team Ishtar, they're looking to tie the series up in a very convincing fashion.
What just happened? They were all sitting there. I saw Face of the Wind, Ian. I saw them ult themselves, and in my head, I'm thinking she doesn't do too much damage. Like, I'm kind of surprised that she ulted herself. And then all of a sudden, they all get wiped, Adam. They all got wiped so fast from just so much AoE damage coming through from Tygoon, from Frostbite, from Face of the Wind's ultimate there, the Cataclysm on top, just so much from all of them. And you don't even need the Cosmic Radiance to take that fight for the side of Team Ishtar.
Yeah, Cosmic Radiance be damned in a lot of ways. They did not need that invulnerability. If anything, the Silas not stealing it away was the boon for the side of Barber's Fan Club, as that gold lead erupts now up to 7,500 gold here. It's 7,000 gold. I can do math most of the time. I think the one rule that I learned from casting with some of the bigger names is never do math on stream. Just don't do it, because you will fail it most of the time. And then people in chat will be like, did you not pass grade 7? You don't know how to add things up. Listen, when there's all these decimals and all of that sort of stuff, it gets confusing sometimes, especially trying to do it really quickly.
Did you failed secondary school? That's what they call it in Canada, right?
We call it high school.
Oh, it's not secondary school? Okay, well.
You played yourself, buddy. Regardless. Gold lead now going to grant the advantage of objective bounties to the side of Barber's Fan Club. We saw how potent those can be in Game 1 for the side of Team Ishtar as they try to tie up that game. But Tycoon now going for the 1v1. Oh my goodness, look at the healing coming out from this. What the heck is with Toaded? Going to try and escape. The Infernal Chain's not going to be able to land. And now Tycoon with the World Ender ending. Both of them limping away with the less than desirable health bars, but the second Rift Herald this time going to be secured by Team Ishtar as they look to break even more of the structures for Barber's Fan Club. And they're sitting on Soul Point once again. It just seems like Blue Side has been able to field just the better jungler, no matter which team is which. If you turned off nameplates, honestly, you would just say that Blue Side is the better side.
Yeah. Yeah, really, really interesting. And I definitely think that really it's just the change of picks here for the side of Team Ishtar in this jungle. I definitely think, now I personally think Kekrom is a definitely very strong jungler, but obviously Roberto being able to find a lot better of an angle here on this Jarvan.
Yeah, Vaperto has been able to quite literally put the team on his back. It's 100% kill participation for this Jarvan. Not to be outdone is Frostbite, 13 out of 15 kill participation as well. Really strong performance in their own right thus far on this Zeri, showing Pixel Wolf how to stay alive on the champion, to say the least here. But this Aphelios Thresh, it hasn't done it thus far. 0-2-2, 1-4-2. They haven't been able to find the value that this combo is able to get.
Yeah, they weren't able to get a lot done in this early game, and they are still scaling up. You know, it is always going to be Aphelios, so you know, Mr. 200 years is still gonna reach that point eventually. But just right now, all is going to be a bit under the radar.
Yeah, and under the radar isn't really how Aphelios likes to operate a lot of the times. Usually is that big focal point of team comps, able to get these huge ultimates, able to, you know, cause voice cracks and cause quick maths on your how many years on this champion, you know, all of that sort of stuff. But thus far, Pixel Wolf has had a rather subdued performance. Granted, it's been that case for a lot of Barber's Fan Club. They haven't really been able to find the fights. They haven't been able to find the structures, and a lot of what got them their advantage in Game 1 has fallen by the wayside here in Game 2, as Team Ishtar, they have come to play. They are coming looking to take down the top-ranked team in the power rankings from last week. So, Soul Dragon spawning, as I just realized objective timers have been off this entire game. 15 seconds away! This could be the fight that decides the game in a lot of ways.
Yeah, and I think Team Ishtar did a lot of good for themselves when it came to this draft. I think they gave themselves, you know, a lot of room to play around. I do not like this positioning necessarily, but
Bio is aware that they're on vision. That's about all they know. But Anai gonna steal away the Lissandra ultimate. Not sure if that's the ultimate that wins you a fight, but we'll see what Anai can do with it. But positioning looking a little bit rough. World Ender gonna come down. The box has come down as well. Anai into that backline. Gonna use that Lissandra ultimate on themselves to stay alive. Here comes the damage. Watoda able to take down that Lissandra, but here comes the rest of the side of Team Ishtar. The Cosmic Radiance comes down. The Lightning Crash as well as Anai gets taken out of the fight. Bio limping away with 100 HP. Gonna try and stay alive. Takes the Hextech portal, but it's going in right next to a whole bunch of members. The triple kill for the Zeri, as the only one to live to tell the tale is that Aphelios. So very secure. Hextech Soul gonna be going over to the side of Team Ishtar as they find another fight win.
Yeah, absolute team fight dominance so far this game. Even with face to win, kind of going down really early in that team fight, not able to find a lot for themselves. You still have you have everything you need. You have a Fed Zeri who has ultimate up, can pop it, just run around the enemy team of Barber's fan club because they have no real way of locking them down. Even with the Lissandra ultimate that Nai picks up, uses it on themselves, not able to pick up on Frostbite.
Oh,
So Frostbite's able to just run around.
it was a good attempt from Pixel Wolf.
Ooh.
Vaperto did not have Smite for that. That was a little bit scarier than one would imagine, but yeah, it wasn't the best ultimate there to try and steal it away. Didn't have the Infernum, had the Gravitum instead, but Baron picked up. Frostbite, yeah, has been able to sort of run around this game, and a lot of it's just because there's no point and click.
Yeah, no point and click CC. Even with that Lissandra ultimate that you can pick up at times from a Nai, it just it's really it's almost impossible to try to lock down Frostbite and be able to kill them, especially with the Taric ultimate over your head.
Pixel Wolf,
It's just
no. Oh my goodness, Tygoon just goes for the one-shot combo there. That's a lot of damage coming out from the Aatrox. Say what you will about the champion, about how good or bad it is. It's a lot of damage coming through from Tygoon here with this Hextech Soul. Now, though, Watoda's going to come through and ruin a little bit of the fun. Bio going to be able to stay alive as well. But Pixel Wolf did pay the price there, realizing just what a Aatrox in the top lane can do.
yeah, that sweet spot damage buff is
Pretty
the
nice.
painful one.
Yeah, of note, that was the first kill that Vaperto did not get kill participation on, but will get their revenge, is going to try and find another one here. Yep, that's the 15th assist of the game there, as Frostbite now coming in from the flanks. Rainbow Tails will be taken down as Frostbite, 9-1-9 on the Zeri, went for the Wit's End as their second item, now completed that Titanic Hydra end. That's a lot of damage coming through. The difference in items between the 80 carries, rather massive, and if we look at the individual gold, it's like a lot.
Yeah, and these assists on Roberto kind of nuts. This is like in Valorant, you know how you can see skies with nutty assists because they can get those AoE heals in, and then every kill the person gets after that is consisted of assists. This is how it makes me feel. Like this 17 assists for Roberto. That's how ridiculous it looks for me.
It's more so like KO's knife, because you get the suppress and then you just get assists for the rest of the map. And here comes Anai, though, coming into the middle. Gonna get stunned up as well. But Toad, though, going into that backline, looking to get that shutdown, will be able to pick it up. The Cosmic Radiance does not come down. This is the chance for Barber's fan club. But Tygoon has shown up. This is a big Aatrox, as Aatrox able to pick that one up. Atrix will look to do some more damage to these minions as Vaperto picks up more assists with the flag. 6-1-20 on this Jarvan. Hextech Soul, Hextech Jarvan, everything matching up here. One Nexus Tower will fall. Bio trying to cut off the wave, though. Vaperto's just going to press R on them. And Tygoon is okay to tank this one up. This should be the game picked up for Team Ishtar, as they're able to take down the juggernauts of the Black Twitch League here in very convincing fashion. 27 kills, 27 minutes. Team Ishtar tie this one up.
Yeah, really good job from Roberto. If there was a player of the game kind of vote here, I definitely would probably give it to Roberto. It's kind of hard choosing between them and Frostbite, but Roberto set so much up and was able to get so much done across the map. I think they definitely deserve that at the end of the day of this game. Really well done from Team Ishtar, especially on the bot side of the map in the early game, and they were able to clean this game up really well.
They were just absolutely massive for a huge chunk of that game. You couldn't really do anything about that Jarvan, who was just everywhere whenever the team needed it. Finished the game 1 KP shy of perfect KP for a game. In a 27 kill game, that is impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're gonna probably consider reporting Tygoon at the end of there, picking up that solo kill on Pixel Wolf and ruining that 100%. But really well done job from them, and really all of Team Ishtar. For the most part, being able to get some really strong team fights off. Tygoon, even though they got down early after that first kill up top side, still able to get up, up to like 40 CS lead up top at one point. Honestly at 40, yeah, 46 at the end of the game, and really put themselves into a really good position. Stolo Roberto didn't even really switch the tune of that lane. Although getting that coming up topside for that 2v2 definitely completely pushed that into the favor of Tygoon. So really good job. I really liked the ganks that Roberto was able to get off, and I really like how they were able to get those dragon stacking as well.
And of note here, what do Barber's fan club need to do to win the series now? Because they looked like they were schooled in game two.
I definitely think that they need to draft a bit better around this enemy team. I don't picking up all these different assassins and like divers and stuff. It's fun, but it's not gonna guarantee you, the game. If you're the better team, you want to reduce that variability. So trying to amp it up by picking up all these divers that have to get ahead, that have to be able to get these, excellent team fights off. That you have to play, to their best potential in these team fights to be able to win off is always going to put you a bit of a back foot with regards to these team fights and stuff, especially if the enemy team just picks up like a guardian Tarek, or this Lysandra who didn't do an insane amount in these early game fights, but absolutely could have put a wrench in the thick of these plans for Barber's fan club a bit as well. It's these picks that kind of make their lives a little harder when these skirmishes and team fights go off.
Yeah. So we will find out what happens in game three here. We're going to take a quick break while we reset all of our overlays and get everything set up for you. But when we're back, we will see who will take this series. Will it be Team Ishtar finding their first series win of the year, or will it be Barber's fan club escaping from the jaws of an upset? Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.